Oh, hello! Apparently that's my catchphrase now. I know if you're here, then you know what time it is. It is time for us to go over the 10th newsletter. I just want to give it up to the Webtoon intern for a moment. Like, can we get a round of applause for our man pumping out these newsletters every week? Like, I just want to say thank you so much for giving us actual content every week, Webtoons. Thank you for being very mindful of the fact that we love these little updates from you. I do rag on you super hard because oftentimes I feel like you should have started this when you announced the contest. But hey, we're here now, so I'm gonna let it go. I'm just giving the warm fuzzies today. So let's jump into this. Hi Legends, we're almost at the halfway point for the contest. If you're still working on your episode, you still have time to submit. Yes, we need the hope, Webtoons. Let me be honest, I am struggling. Part of the battle I'm learning when making a webcomic is you. You are the problem with your own comic production because there are such minor things that probably as artists we should let go, but you just can't let it go. And as a struggling, perfectionist, I'm finding how hard it is. So we're at the 41-day mark. And obviously, since I'm doing this 2 days later, we know that we're even closer to the deadline. So with that being said, don't be a perfectionist. Just get it done. Jam out those panels, people. Okay, so Q&A highlights. We love a Q&A highlight. Let me just say this. I love this section. I love them adding this because we need it. We need that clarity from you Webtoons. So thank you so much for offering this. We've received a couple of questions we thought were important, as you should have received questions that were important because you didn't clarify anything. You've got all of us confused. We are confusion. And we thought sharing these answers could provide clarity for all contest participants. We love clarity. Okay, intern, you're on your job. We love that. What does redistributing panels mean in the FAQ, referring to acceptable edits? Not us getting more clarity on the edits. Redistributing panels refers to moving existing panels from one episode to another to meet the episode minimum panel count requirement for your genre category. As included in the FAQ, this is an acceptable edit, but timing is important, so please double check each episode before uploading to make sure your episodes all meet the panel count requirement before submitting. Okay, so I feel like I did not take any of that in. As I finished reading it, I was like, wait, what did you say? Okay. So redistributing panels refers to moving existing panels from one episode to another to meet the episode panel count requirement. Okay, so they're saying you can make an edit to add more panels so that your episode meets the requirements. That is really interesting because I feel like that's a major edit, which is slightly contradicting. Is that contradicting? Am I the only one that feels that way? Them saying that, my brain was like, that seems like a big edit. What? Okay. So then they say, but timing is important. What do you mean? Tell us what the time. So please double check each episode before uploading. Okay, so you say timing is important, and then you say, but double check it before you upload. I don't understand. So are you saying what? Wouldn't the episode already be uploaded if you're rearranging panels? I'm so confused by this. Redistributing panels refers to moving existing panels from one episode to another to meet the episode minimum panel count requirement. Are they saying before you upload? Maybe that's the context of this. I don't know. That whole thing has got me very confused. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I just feel like that's obvious that you would reuse panels in other episodes if it fits what you need it to fit, right? Right? I don't understand. I feel like people reuse panels all the time. Okay, maybe people have been asking this question and they need a clarification because maybe they felt like if all the panels weren't original, then it would be counted against them. I don't understand why it would, because originals do it all the time. Webtoons wouldn't go that hard. What? Webtoons wouldn't go that hard. Okay, the timing thing is still confusing because I'm like, it reads to me like double check your episode before you upload, but also you might be able to edit. I'm gonna leave that alone. Like, that whole paragraph makes no sense to me. It is what it is. If you guys have explanation for it, type it out in the chat. Like, I feel like that whole section, I'm still confused. Normally, I feel like I would do my best to try and break this down, but I don't think like there's any breaking this down. I do like that there was some clarification that you could reuse panels, but I don't. The rest of it, I'm out. Perry Princeborn said, "This is stressing me out despite me doing okay on my timing." Right? Like, I don't. What do you mean? Okay. Bean said, "What do they mean by timing is important?" Who knows? Who knows? I just feel like make sure that whatever you decide to edit is done before the end of the contest. Like, that is the vibe that I'm getting from this. It's just like, you can make as many edits as you want, as long as it's done before the end of the contest. Like, that, don't quote me on that. I'm just saying that's the feeling I'm starting to get. Like, I feel like they've been so bombarded about this edit issue now that they're just like, let them edit, let the people cook. And then when the deadline happens, it happens, which would be such an easier thing to deal with, Webtoons. Like, I wish they had just said like, okay, you can make edits up until the close of the submission, and that would have wrapped all of this. Like, there would be no other confusion going on. All right, let's look at the next question. Will Webtoon notify me if I need to edit my submission if my submission is disqualified? The FAQ notes that the judging panel will not provide individual feedback or commentary. That was not the question, but okay. This means that if an entry is disqualified during the internal review process, the creator may not be contacted or informed directly. I do not like this may. Like, I understand they're getting a lot of submissions, like we're almost at 2,000 possibly, but it just irritates me a little bit that people could be actively working on their submission and it's disqualified. I know people are probably typing down like, well, you need to read the rules carefully. Yeah, you do. And I don't disagree with that. Like, I completely love a contract. I love clarity. But when you leave something up to interpretation, like, that causes error. like this is not like a contest where you enter and you're running a race, and so obviously all you have to do is run the race. Like, there's so much nuance to this that can make it so confusing for so many people, and we are not lawyers. We are not people who, well, I can't speak for everyone. There could be some lawyers watching this, I don't know. Like, so I just feel like they should have made this as simple as possible, and not all of this like, it could be, it may be, it might not be, because I just feel that for someone to be disqualified and then to let them keep working on their project is just diabolical behavior. Like, absolutely not. Like, no. Nashelle, am I saying that right? I guess you can put like a 1 page in chapter, then 2 months later edit the whole chapter to make it a full chapter. That is timing problem. I don't know. Wasn't the most popular comic under 40 panels? Maybe this is a nudge for them to adjust for eligibility. See, here's the thing. Like, this is my thing to that, Perry. At the end of the day, if Webtoons wants to offer anybody an originals contract after the contest, even during the contest, I assume, like, they could do it. So panel count is only like, it doesn't make sense for Webtoons to be like, hey, change your panel count so that we can make you an original. Webtoons can make them original at any point. I feel like they're getting so much backlash. I don't know if they're getting backlash. I mean, they may not be. Like, Webtoons may not care. I feel like maybe they do at this point. Maybe somebody at Webtoons is like, hey guys, we should really address this. Like, the community is in an uproar. But I also feel like, you know, even despite the fact that we've actively been talking about Webtoons, like providing clarity, providing, you know, information to help creators put their best foot forward, like, we're in a small niche bubble, like, and we have to accept that. So I'm just here doing my best. Yes, someone needs to count the #1 trending Webtoon in the contest and see if the panels equal the correct amount. Like, I'd be really curious about that. Listen, when those winners are announced, you best believe I'm gonna be going through counting all of the panels to make sure that they should not be disqualified. And I don't mean that in a nefarious way. I feel like I'll be doing that specifically to point to the fact that if they let people through that are below the panel count, it just proves to me that Webtoons did not care. And basically, they're just picking who they want to pick. Hi, Kentella. Okay, so then they continue. We encourage all participants to carefully review the official rules, FAQ, and all content policies to ensure their submission meets all requirements before uploading. So this is another thing that I feel like is super insane, to be honest. Like, there's so much information that you have to read to make sure that you are following guidelines, because you have Webtoons TOS. I feel like that's one thing that they're referring to. And then you have Webtoons rating policy that you also have to adhere to. So that's 2 extra documents. Then they say they say review carefully the FAQ and the official rules. That's so much information, and some of it is contradictory in my opinion. It's just one of those situations where I'm like, yes, I hear you, Webtoons, but also, like, let's take the rating system for example. Why do you say, like, nudity is not allowed, and then you have a section to ask people, rate your nudity in your comic? That makes no sense. Like, the moment anyone clicks that there's any nudity in their comic, it should be automatically, you cannot upload this. It just doesn't make sense. And this is where I talk about the fact that it is not clear and it is confusing. Like, your own system says no for this, but then your own system says, okay, rate it though, so we can see if it's within guidelines, but it's not supposed to be on there, period. So that's where I'm just like, things do not always make sense, and this is why we need clarification for things. I also want to point out the fact that I feel like, yes, they've released all of these documents and they're clear for us to read. So it is really important for every creator who is entering the contest to do their best to interpret it to the best of their ability, because I'm just going to be honest, in my opinion, a lot of it's subjective. I feel like a lawyer could argue for both sides and it would be up to a judge. But are you really going to take this to court? Probably not. All right, so let's continue. Thank you for reaching out with your question. We're always here to help. Are you, though, Webtoons? Are you, Webtoons? Are you? Prince Boring said, yeah, I think if they like something but it didn't meet the contest requirements, it won't win, but can still be offered a contract. Absolutely. That's what happened with Instant Miso. She didn't win the contest, but she went on to become a Webtoon darling. Nichelle said, I read my Dear Watson, a top gripping story, and that is below panel count. Is it? That's really interesting. Prince Boring said, Love Struck was under 40 panels. It was at about 35 maybe, and the 3rd or 4th most popular was also under 40 panels, but also is mostly grayscale. See, that's another thing too. Like, Webtoons wants full color. So what qualifies as full color? Like, could they slide by and be like, well, I threw in some pops of color here and there? Like, there's so many gray areas left open for interpretation. Like, this is where I'm like, you needed just some clear, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And that would have just solved so many problems. Like, this might, all of that, insane behavior. User Rose, hello, it's been a while for sure. We missed you. Perry said, that's why I think this is being put out now. Yeah, it definitely could be why it's being put out, but also I just feel like I don't know. It could be. They said this is something that people have been asking, but I'm like, the panel count thing has always been like people should know what the panel count is. I think there could be instances where people are miscounting the panels. Like, maybe someone's counting a few of their panels as 2 instead of 1, or counting some panels as 3 instead of 1. And so maybe that's where some of the confusion is coming in. I don't know. All right, let's continue to move on. So there's all the links. Contact, Webtoons if you want to. I found it to be a very underwhelming experience when I emailed them, but hey, I still love you, intern. Creating a comic is a lot of work, obviously. Like, it's insanity, Webtoons. Like, you should pay your creators more. But there are some industry tips to help you speed up your production and decrease your workload and the time it takes to create a new episode. This week and next week, we're going to look at some of the tips for efficiency. Yes, thank you for these tips for efficiency as we're entering the end of the contest. Like, am I salty about that? Yes. Am I always salty about the newsletter? Yes. So what's new? We're going to look at some tips for efficiency that creators and Webtoon team members want you to know. Well, thank you. I'm very interested to hear what the Webtoon members have to say. Tip number 1, use 3D models plus visual effect assets. Some creators use 3D models for their backgrounds, props, and creatures. Okay. I'm gonna let them cook for a minute because I was about to like rip them apart. 3D models are essentially helpful for backgrounds, especially helpful for backgrounds. They can also ensure some complicated props and creatures remain consistent throughout a sequence, without creators having to do the drafting for different perspectives. Okay, and visual effect assets make it easy to add complicated effects to your scene, emphasize your genre, and make an impact with your readers. You can trace over 3D models in your style, or you can use them as is if it fits with your art direction and creative vision. If you want to explore 3D models, we recommend checking out Acon 3D. Is this sponsored? Is this sponsored? Like, I'm so confused. Like, did Acon 3D be like, yes, please advertise us during the contest? Is this the advertisement? This platform features an extensive collection of 3D models for webcomic creators. Webtoon Canvas has partnered. Oh, okay. I was like, this has to be sponsored. Am I going insane? Webtoon Canvas has partnered with Acon 3D to provide our creators with a discount. Okay, and there is the ad roll. Like this whole thing. I was like, what are we talking about? Why are we talking about 3D models? Like, I feel like every creator almost knows about 3D models. Like, what is this? It's like, oh yes, you can use 3D models to make your stuff consistent. Right? Like, thank you. Are we going to like dive deeper into this? Are you going to explain how to use 3D models? Like, what's going on here? Nope. It was a sponsorship. Okay, shout out to Acon 3D. Get that bag, Webtoons, but not really because we need the bag. Like, make Acon 3D free to us. Like, give us a real discount. What is it, 10%? I bet it's like tax. Like, let me stop. Click here to learn how to claim your coupon. Oh my goodness, and there's a link. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the fact that like Webtoon sent this out in a newsletter and then I read it. So it's like a double sponsorship. I'm sorry. I'm cracking myself up. And check out a workshop for tips on how to use Acon 3D models. Okay, click on that video. Like, this is insanity. I could not believe this. Oh Lord, are we getting an advertisement for Clip Studio in this newsletter too? Okay. You know what? Maybe some people did not know about 3D models. I don't know how you couldn't, because like when you read any Webtoon original that's imported, you can tell that they're models. But hey, everybody's got to start somewhere. Maybe this was the thing that some beginners really needed. Like, I should stop being so hard on these like really beginner tips. I think it's the timing of it. The timing is what gets me, because if this had came out like a month later or 2 months later after the announcement of the contest, I don't think I'd be going so hard on this. I'm like, where are the how to win the contest newsletters? I swear, Webtoons, you've got a few weeks left to do how to win, how to market your comic. Like, that is what we want. We want the marketing tips. Oh my God. Okay, Acon 3D models are compatible with Clip Studio Paint. It's in bold. Let's see if there's going to be a shout out discount for Clip Studio, which also has 3D tools and visual effect assets. Clip Studio Paint is another preferred tool among the Webtoon creator community. In addition to assets, they also have tools to easily ink 3D backgrounds, set up your files, and other tools for efficiency. Click here to explore Clip Studio assets. Okay, it was just like a link to assets. Okay, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't another ad. Like, I wish they had been like, click on our exclusive discount link. Like, come on, Webtoons. Like, maybe that'll be in part 2. Maybe we'll get another ad in part 2. When using 3D models, listen, do not click on this link. Like, my brain is like, don't click on the link now. Like, don't let Webtoons get a percentage. I need to stop. Like, I swear Webtoons is going to have me on their hit list. They're just going to take me out. One day when there's no more videos, y'all are going to be like, what happened to Apollo? It's because they took me out. That's what happened. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm missing so much in the chat. User said, yes, reusing panels helps greatly, but it's a double-edged sword. If you misuse, it'll look copy paste. I stick to making a big background, reusing that, then close-ups for characters. Yeah. That's a really good tip. Cantella said, I make my own 3D models in Blender. Yes, Cantella's super talented in that. User Rose also said, it's a good tool, but use it sparingly so you don't get a stiff comic. Perry Picture said, if there wasn't a clickable link, it's a incomplete ad. Always follow through with CTAs. I feel you. Okay. Uh... I want to rant about creator feed in Webtoon. I hate how they keep the popular posts on top rather than the latest post. At least make a section for both. People can't promote their Webtoon in Webtoon. I'm just gonna be honest, like, I feel you, my God. That's not anything new. Like, it's like with Instagram when we were like, please give us back the Chronicle timeline, and they were like, no, here's shorts. And it's like, bruh. We only asked for one thing. I want to be able to see the people who I follow's posts. And now it's just like every other post is an ad. It is insanity on there. Okay, let's finish this up. In addition to assets, they also have tools to easily ink. Okay, we already read that. So click to explore Clip Studio assets when using 3D models for from these trusted platforms. Okay, Webtoons is like, these are the ones you should use because, you know, we're affiliated with them. Is that what it's giving? Am I putting too much on this intern? You can be confident you have access to the commercial license for these assets, meaning you can use them in a product you eventually sell or monetize, like your comic after the contest. Okay, Webtoons, they're like, listen, if you go this route, that means that you can use it because, you know, they've given you permission. Okay, that is a good tip. I like that, Webtoons. If you're sourcing 3D models or assets from other sites or marketplaces, be sure to check whether or not that download includes the permission or the commercial license you'll need to potentially earn revenue from your series. If you'd like to see how other Webtoon creators use 3D models, check out the workshops below. So there's one from Grave, and then there's another one from Sam. I don't know who Sam is. What are they the creator of? I wish they had said what their Webtoon was. Okay, tip number 2, limited backgrounds. Once you've included an establishing shot in a sequence, the reader will intuitively remember that's the setting this scene takes place in. Is that true? I mean, I know that establishing shots do help that, but I'm like, do readers remember that? I feel like I don't remember anything when I'm reading. I'm like, wait, where are we? What's happening? But I'm also pretty dumb. So, like, I have no thoughts in between these two ears. Like, sometimes I'm just like, bruh. What was the plot? Because I don't know. So in subsequent panels, you may not need as much detail in your backgrounds. Okay, I can see that. I do agree with that. Kind of establishing the setting and then going forward, that is something that a lot of Webtoons do. I see what they're saying. I get it. Let's look at an example from the Mafia Nanny. Okay, shout out to Mafia Nanny. So we've got a panel here, and it's these two characters. What are we trying to say? She's talking. Instead of including a full background in every panel, creators often use gradients, flat colors, textures, and negative space. Okay, so I kind of see what they're saying, but also this is a lot. Like there's some there's some 3D model back here. There's some shading. There's some lighting. Like there's a lot going on in this panel. That's not just a gradient, but okay. These kinds of backgrounds are common in Webtoon series. Yes, they are. But remember to include an establishing shot for context at some point early in the scene. Otherwise, these minimal backgrounds might confuse your readers. Some creators also create personal asset libraries with reusable art or photos they then use as backgrounds. But more on a personal asset libraries next time. Okay, so we're gonna talk. Another like they're like, click the link here. Read Mafia Nanny. What is going on with this? Like, when did Webtoons become so like link focused? This is insanity. Okay, tip number 3, paneling for efficiency. Sometimes panels or parts of panels can be reused. This can be a useful strategy in dialogue scenes or when pacing needs to slow down to emphasize a moment. Okay, I feel that. Sorry, I'm checking chat. Are you? What is up? Yes, yes, yes. It's another late night stream. Let's take a look at one kind of paneling strategy that can be useful for pacing efficiently. Okay, efficiency. I cannot read tonight. I'm so struggling. In some scenes, you may want to slow down the pacing to focus on an important moment in your story. A slower sequence may include moments where the visual information in a panel changes very minimally, or you zoom in on information that is present in other panels. This will slow down the pacing, but sometimes that's a very effective storytelling tactic and it's a very efficient process. Let's look at an example from The Windy Bird. Okay. In the first draft, Wendy makes an important decision to run away with her siblings in just 2 panels. Okay, so we see all the siblings here. And now they're getting ready to go. Okay. That felt a little fast to make such a big decision, didn't it? So this, how did we get there? I mean, I don't know. It does feel fast, but I mean, I get what they're saying, but I'm like, I feel like it could work, possibly. I don't know. I don't read this series. I guess I'd have to check it out. That felt a little fast to make such a big decision. In this second draft, the production team pulled out the art from Wendy from the first panel and the second panel and inserted 2 emphasis panels. Okay, so we've got them all lined up again. She looks at them. All right. Okay. And then we have this. I mean, yes. I guess I need context for this because I feel like, honestly, like looking at this myself, I'm like, I feel like you could still cut these 2 panels and it would be just fine. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just my personal preference. I'm like, I feel like it's fine. Oh my good grief. That's cracking me up tonight. Like, I feel like I'm just in an ornery position. I'm just like, dude, both of them were fine. I mean, I get the thing about the paneling. I guess it does slow it down a little bit so that the reader can think more. But I also don't think it's necessarily needed because I don't know. Like, I get that they're trying to emphasize her emotion, maybe. Like I don't have context for this. So maybe that's the biggest problem. I don't have context. So it's like, where are they going? What are they doing? Like, it just seems like, I don't know. I need more context. It's fine, I guess. Like, I'm gonna move on. That's better. Is it Webtoons? Is it better? Like, it just added more panels. Like, okay. Like, I feel like you could have, instead of, okay, I'm harping on this because my brain is just like, what? Like, I feel like this panel here, this second one where she makes the face, she could have just been making that face in this panel and it would have transitioned fine to this panel. But oh my good grief. Okay, that's better. By adding these 2 emphasis panels, the pacing slows down, letting readers take time with Wendy as she considers her siblings and makes this important decision. I mean, okay. Okay. I mean, it's just like, it's literally one panel and she's looking at them and then she's just like, okay. And then she moves on. Like, I don't feel like it was like a lot of considering them, to be honest. But hey, you know what, Webtoons? It did slow down the pacing. I get what you're saying. Add a few more panels and the pacing slows down. Got it. All right. Let's keep moving. Oh, Are said it's good both ways. It is good both ways. Like, what the heck? Lynn said, I'm kind of confused by this newsletter, or maybe my brain is just fried. No, I don't think you're necessarily confused. I think some of the information is just like so simple that it's kind of like, what? Like, what are we saying here? Like, are we saying anything? Like, that's what I feel like it is, in my opinion. The Chainsaw Maniac said, what if she's a quick thinker? Exactly. Like, we don't know that Wendy is slow at processing stuff. Maybe Wendy is a mad genius. Like, who reads Wendy Bird? If it's called Wendy Bird, she's probably deciding to go to Neverland. Doesn't Wendy get kidnapped? Like, wasn't that the whole thing? Like, doesn't she get kidnapped? Okay, I'm gonna move on. Like, Perry, we're getting into deep waters over there. Okay, In this case, inserting 2 panels added to the storytelling in the scene, maybe, and the only additional work required were 2 small changes in her expression. Maybe. Paneling tactics like this can draw out the pacing of an important moment. I guess it did emphasize the fact that she was making a decision more, but I feel like with the 2 panels, she still made a decision, and so I'm like, yeah, she made a decision. I don't know. I'm gonna get off of it. Let's move forward. Paneling tactics like this can draw out the pacing of an important moment, but use them wisely. Use everything wisely. Don't overdo it. Not every moment needs to be slow. Exactly. Wendy didn't need a slow moment. I literally said I wasn't going to do this anymore. And if too many repeat or emphasis panels like this are used, it can disrupt your reader's immersion. But when used at the right time, in the right context, reusing artwork from existing panels can be very effective and efficient. Up another link. Read the Wendy Bird. Lord. Want tips? Want more tips before next week? Watch this workshop from Webtoon Academy. What is up with all the links in this newsletter? Like I was about to say this episode. Like, it is insanity. It's like click here, click here, click here. They are smashing in so much stuff in this newsletter that's like, please click on something else to read. Upcoming newsletters, Efficiency Made Easy Part 2. Wait, that's it? Like, that's the only one that they're advertising? Are we not going to get another newsletter after this? Listen, Webtoons, I got ideas for you. Here's what I need you to do. How to market your comic for the Webtoon 2025 contest. How to attract an audience on our platform for the Webtoon 2025 contest. Why you should use shorts to market your comic on our platform, whatever that Webtoon short thing is, for the Webcomics Webtoon 2025 contest. How to win the Webtoon 2025 contest. Tips from past readers, from past winners from the Webtoon contest. Like all of these things are what we should be getting in these final months Webtoons. Like, we should not be getting like, oh, how to do pacing correctly. Bro, we can't change the pacing. We are locked in. Like, you're trying to get us to add panels. We are just trying to make it to that panel count. Like, I am so sorry, but this is driving me crazy. Like what is this? Do I need to go up there to that office? We need to go to the office now and demand to speak to whoever is in charge of these newsletters. Cantella said, it's showing what Webtoon's preferences on panel flow. I think yes and no. Like, I totally agree with you, Cantella. It is showing us the way Webtoons likes to, I guess, like the flow for their storytelling. But I also feel like the Webtoon editors, production team or whatever, there's like Webtoons that go out all the time that have weird panel flow. So I'm just like, I don't know if I would trust them. I guess I have to know who wrote this to be like, yeah, that makes sense. It is very generic, like in terms of like, yes, adding more panels will slow down the pacing, like that sort of thing. But also, sometimes you don't need it. And they literally said that themselves. They were like, well, sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. So, I don't know. I feel you can't tell it, but also I feel like I just don't agree with Webtoons on this one in terms of like their illustration for the last one. Kawaii Kiwi Star. It'd be nice if they did the same for Webtoon users since Webtoons is so big. What are you talking about? I'm very curious about this. Like, I saw that comment and I was like, what are we talking about? I recently saw someone's video about how Webtoons is actually losing a ton of money for some reason. Webtoons has been losing money since they went public. Like, I cannot wait for their next quarterly call so that we can discuss it. Like, hopefully, like, the contest is coming to an end and there's so many news topics that came out that I want to cover that I was not able to cover in the, like, amount that I want to. But those quarterly calls going forward are going to be so interesting. Like, just know that we'll know what's going on from those calls. Riziki said, this only works for animation. For Webtoon, nah. Yeah, I feel like for the right Webtoon, a lot of these tips could work. Yuzuro said, sometimes you don't need all this emphasis panels. I've been studying manga paneling lately, and it doesn't hold your hand with all of these extra panels. It's to the point. It depends on the scene, because some scenes need tension, but others need to just get to the point, and repeat art will look stiff and lazy. I think repeat art can look fine as long as you have a purpose for it. Like sometimes I've seen repeated panels and I know it's a repeated panel, but it's also one of those things that can sometimes serve as a reminder. And I think depending on the episode, like having a repeat panel in there as a reminder for something specific can be really, really beneficial and helpful. I agree with what you said about the fact that you have to kind of balance it. You have to know like when to just get straight to the point and when something actually needs emphasis, because sometimes like adding extra panels of a character expression and then another character expression panel and then another character expression panel, it's like, okay, could we not have emphasized this in one panel that the character is like considering their family? Like, I feel like sometimes there's certain things that don't need to be said. Like, it is a little hand holding, but I do also think that Webtoon's user base is young, so maybe they feel that hand holding is needed. But I also feel like you could just add a sentence of dialogue and be like, have Wendy be like, man, I love my family so much, I need to help them, or whatever. Like, and that would have wrapped that up too, and you wouldn't have had to have all those extra panels. I don't know. Maybe I'm too heavy on just adding a sentence. I feel like that's my solution to everything whenever it comes to comics. Instead of drawing another panel, I'm like, add a speech bubble, add a thought bubble. Like, that sums it up, right? Like, I need to stop that, because like Webtoons is a visual medium, and you should be, you know, doing the comic thing and not writing stuff all the time. Sometimes I do think a little speech bubble is fine. Oh, was this the end? Did we make it to the end? Like, I just stopped reading. Yeah, it's the end. Okay, let me scroll back up. I feel like this was probably the thing that drove me the most. So I'm just going to leave it right here so we can continue to look at this like character thing for a minute. Prince Boring said, oh yeah, Webtoons is either currently or recently dealing with a lawsuit. The contest is a desperate grab for IP or something. Yeah, so they are dealing with a lawsuit. That is true. But lawsuits take a lot of time. So we probably won't see the fruition of that until like 2027, to be honest. Like, I don't think it's going to move any quicker than what it is already. Miss Milan, hello. Nero Arts. They are hardcore promoting their stuff. They are hardcore promoting their stuff. This was like an ad for, it was like, go check out Wendyland. Go check out the Mafia Nandy. Like, is Wendyland doing really good? Is this a sleeper series I need to be reading? Nichelle said, manga is pretty fast unless there is a jump scare scene. So yeah. Okay. I feel like I haven't really read manga enough with a critical eye to really comment on that. Maybe I should read more manga just to like round out my perspective a little more. But I definitely think that sometimes there's a lot of extra stuff in Webtoons that doesn't need to be clarified because it's clarified in the subtext to me. And I feel like not every comic needs to be so heavy-handed with like a character's emotions. Like, sometimes interpreting the emotion is a part of the reader experience, and that's what makes sometimes conversation about characters so interesting, because people take away different things from what a character did, a look that they gave. There's so much that can go into that I feel like whenever you just like straight up explain every emotion that the character has, it doesn't really leave room for that conversation, especially if you're writing something that's very emotion focused. So I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a definite balance to all of that. User said, lazy is actually the wrong word, but it won't look as good as can be either a little more effort. Nichelle said, I only read manga, so a lot of Webtoon feels slow for me. Not lazy, but slow. Yeah, I do think that manga is really fast-paced, which I think it's important. User said, oh, okay. Yeah. Samurai, hello. A newsletter on marketing would certainly be good. Yes, yes, please. Like, I would love for Webtoon to be like, here's somebody from the marketing department on how we market our Webtoon. Like, it's not going to kill them to give off an old strategy that they're not using. Like that actually would be really interesting to hear. Just, some behind the scenes of like how they craft stuff. Minty Donut Spaghettios. Why? There's still a couple of weeks left. Should be pumping these newsletters each week. That intern just said, screw this and quit making them. Maybe they quit. Maybe they're going to come work for me. Hello, Webtoon intern. Listen, it's time for you to come to the side of the sun. Like, leave Webtoons and come to me. Bring all of their secrets and all of their knowledge so that we in this community can benefit. I would love this. Like, let the romance continue. Let us no longer be star-crossed lovers. Let us be true lovers in the real sense of the word. In the real sense of the word. But also, let's just make it business. Okay. Miss Milan said, due to the spacing and vertical reading, it's so easy for Webtoons to feel so slow. Yes, it is. I think like that's the thing about it. I feel like the paneling for Webtoons can be like such a cool tool to make things like very fast paced and whatnot. But sometimes I feel like it's so slow, but I think it's the plot. I think it's the extra dialogue. Like, listen, me talking about extra dialogue and I'm literally over here like, just add a speech bubble. But sometimes I feel like there's a lot of dialogue in Webtoons that can be cut. I'm like, can we cut this? Didn't we talk about this last episode? Cut this. Like, I don't think there should be an episode where we talk about, like, maybe the character's like, I'm feeling sad. And so that's one episode. And then we move to the next episode and they're like, I'm feeling sad. I'm like, oh my God, we just talked about this. Like, let a few episodes go by before we bring up the fact that they're sad again. Okay? Can we do that, please? All right, let me move on. Sweet Pea. What they should do is a newsletter on how to make panels more interesting. I agree with that, but I feel like at this point in the contest, like everybody's kind of locked into what they're already making. Like doing one about making panels more interesting, I feel like, yes, beneficial, very cool, but also I can't think of any series that Webtoons is doing with their staff that has any like super cool dynamic panels like Heart of Dagger or Made of Stardust. Like they would have to bring on one of the originals to talk about that. Not to say that somebody at their studio couldn't do super dynamic stuff, but I just feel like they don't do it. So like I feel like some of the most interesting panels that I've seen have either been on Canvas or have been by originals that like, are artists just like everybody else, not a studio. Like all the studio art is so straightforward. Kilton said each season has 30 to 50 episodes. Each episode is 50 and more panels. I suppose all of the paneling sketch is more artists rather than readers. What are we talking about? Kawaii Star said, wait, that was for someone in chat. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Miss Milan said the only time it doesn't feel slow is when it's a comedy / slice of life. I agree. Lowe said, what do you mean, Apollo? This newsletter was super helpful. I did all my 3D model stuff in February. Plus, I needed to know where to read Mafia Nanny. Listen, you know what? I'm going to put some respect on the intern who had to add in all of those links. Like, you're 100% right. Like, they deserve a shout out. Like, Webtoons who made this newsletter, who's emailing it to people who are active on the platform, definitely needed to know where to read Mafia Nanny. They definitely needed to know that Acon 3D is a thing. They definitely needed to know that Clip Studio has assets. Like, you know what? I'm completely wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. I am completely wrong. Minty Donut Spaghettios said, being a webcomic creator is so hard. You have to manage 5 different jobs all at once and be entertaining at the same time if you don't have a team to help. So yes, it is a bunch of jobs all at once. And imagine doing this as a profession. Like, you also will take on the role if you don't outsource this as being an accountant. Also, you have to do taxes because Webtoons isn't taking out taxes, y'all. Like, I don't think people understand, like, when you work a job, how, especially in America, I can't speak for any other places, but how, like, taxes work in the sense that if you get paid $1,000, probably $200 to $300 of that is going to go to taxes. But if you're just getting a flat fee from somebody and they don't take out any taxes, you have to pay all of those taxes at the end of the year to the government. And it's a lot of money. So like people sometimes will be like, oh, $800 is a lot of money for each episode. But is it though? You're not getting $800, sweetie. Like you're really getting like 600. I'm just being so serious about this. Like I feel like people forget about taxes, but it is a real thing. And like you have state taxes and federal too. So I'm just saying, like, if people are like, that's a lot in taxes, taxes is a lot of money. And as you know, like things are crazy over here. So who knows how things are going to be in the future for independent contractors and people who own their own business. Beanworm said, personally, I prefer using repeat panels for dramatic emphasis rather than slowing down the pace of the story. Oh, that's actually really smart. Like Beanworms, I'd love to see some of that as an example. Kelton said, you feel at least some dynamic with close-ups or panoramic views, but some people just draw 5 slightly different portraits of the same characters. That's boring. That is boring. Like, give me some diversity, please. Please. Minty said, it's boring, but it does save time and energy, especially since some readers tend to scroll past panels fast, not really reading it. I will say, with Heart of Dagger, because the panels were so interesting and different, I went back and kept scrolling up and down to be like, wait, what's happening? Oh my God, the flow of this. Like, I'm just being 100%. I think people scroll past it because it's so normalized that it's not interesting. I think if you make stuff really interesting, it can slow down the reader experience a little bit. Not a lot. Like maybe instead of 5 seconds, they spend 10 seconds on a panel to be like, oh, that's dope. And I feel like that's a reality. Like, don't undersell dynamic or cool panels. Nichelle said balance is important. I 100% agree. Miss Milan, did you publish your submission yet? Are you talking to me? If so, no. Like, I'll probably publish May 14th. Kelton said, Minty Spaghettio said, to be honest, I don't think Webtoons is that good at marketing. I don't think any company, honestly, is that good at marketing. Like, I feel like all of the companies that are good at marketing do not succeed at marketing. Like, I feel like a big part of marketing is having, like, a large enough budget to just keep replaying the same ad over and over again until people see it. Like, I feel like the really good marketing, like, commercials or ads or anything that I see are like randomly super obscure, but when you see it you're like, dang, now that would make me come into that store. But they just don't have the budget to like push it out to the masses. Nero, what do you ship hard? I'm very curious what you're shipping really hard. Yuzuro said, I always prefer stories that give me space to come to my own conclusions over telling me everything. Show me and let me think, and then tell me a few chapters later with an ending of a little arc. Yeah, I'm told. Yes, I agree with that. Sometimes you don't even have to tell me. Like, make it an exception thing and make me interpret it so that we can discuss it until the end of time to be like, so was it a dream or was it not? Nichelle said, or why do I keep saying Nichelle? Natural. Natural. Like, my brain is just like, it's Nichelle. I'm sorry, Natural. I do not understand. How does anime and manga have so many discussions online, but the most popular webtoon doesn't have as much? I think anime and manga, part of its success is television, because I feel like a lot of mangas that don't have TV shows are not talked about as much. So I feel like eventually when Webtoons really has like a bunch of like series that people really love, then they'll be able to kind of come out of that where we only have discussions on our platform. Because even with Webtoons and like other like social media creators, I feel like there's so few of like Webtoon influencers, manhwa influencer types. Like, I'm not saying they aren't out there. I'm not saying there could be like a good amount of them. I'm just saying like they're far and few in between in terms of compared to like people who do stuff like reviews on anime and manga. Minty Donut Spaghettio said, plot twist, the intern was an AI playing an intern the whole time. Oh my God. Would that not be insane? Although, you know, if that was true, wouldn't it be hilarious if it was an AI thing and the AI thing was like scouring the internet all the time for like Webtoon content, and that's why it's answering questions that we actively have sometimes in that little Q&A thing and being like, Apollo asked this in that last video, we should include this in the newsletter. Like, that's the energy now. Like, Minty, are you on to something? I feel like you're on to something. Jay said, in general, I do feel the quality of manga is just leagues above webtoons. It is. Kilton said, manga standards are rather high. They are. There's amateur manga, which is somewhat not that good. I don't know of any amateur manga. I guess I'd have to check it out to know for sure or not. Mindy said, the workforce for manga is way worse than webtoon, making at times, like, have you seen the schedules for some popular manga creators? I think, like yes, the manga industry, I feel like webtoons will eventually get that way. I'm just being honest. Aryu said, you just described Jackson's diary, except they discuss how Jackson is sad for 30 chapters. I have never read that series. Is it good? Oh my good grief. Where... Perry said, I've quit a few of their darlings for being too chatty. Poetic, I love you. No, I love you. This is how I love you more. No, I love you more, etc. without progressing a plot for several chapters. Yeah, that's really annoying. Like, I love a feelings chapter, but also, like, do not make it like several feeling chapters back to back. Like that is exhausting. I'm like, we already said this. Why are we still talking about this? Like, this is not real life. Where is the plot? If that's the case, just end the series. After they say I love you, just end the series. Minty Spaghettios, that's why I read romance, light novels, and fan fictions. Only at least Twilight was entertaining to me. Listen, do not disrespect Twilight. Like, we love to make fun of that here. So please disrespect it, actually. Dragon said, what episode are you working on, Pantheon? I'm on episode 4 out of 6. Also, repeat panels, a great for pacing in slower moments. It's not always boring in my opinion. So I am on episode 2, but I'm refining panels as I get them back for episode 1. Like, I'm making sure like everything is correct. So episode 1, I think, should be finished. Well, it depends if I work any tonight after the stream. Should be finished tonight, but if not, it'll be finished tomorrow. Hold on. I gotta sneeze. Oh my good grief. That took me out. Nero said, taxes plus helpers if ever you hire, peeps. Yeah. Oh no, another sneeze. Oh my good grief. I'm sorry, when I sneeze, like, it's like a whole body experience. Stealthy Mouse. Squeak caca. Oh, I was about to sneeze again. Yes, everyone, if you are an artist, you are considered a sole trader. You have to put aside taxes from all your income. I recommend a separate online account just for storing taxes until it's filing time. Yeah, it's rough. Seti, the taxes on winning prize money is going to be insane. Yeah, it's probably going to be like 40%. So I'm just saying, like, anybody who's thinking like, oh, I'm going to get $5,000, you're probably going to get like $3,500. Just saying. Because listen, the taxes on like prizes and lotteries and stuff like that is taxed much more than like normal income. So just know that that prize money is not going to be as much as it should be. And if it is, like, if they do give you like 100K up front, you need to immediately, if they give you the full amount. So if you are in a category and you win $5,000 and they pay you $5,000, you need to go and figure out how much of that money you actually need to pay in taxes, because you do not want to get hit when you do your taxes and you're like struggling or whatever, and you don't have the money, be like, oh my God, I owe you $2,000 for what? And they're going to be like, because you won prize money. Don't let it happen. I promise. It is a trap. Jay said, I think Webtoon will only start marketing the contest during the next phase. I'm not necessarily talking about them marketing, Jay. I'm talking about them giving tips for us to market our own comics. Like, that is something that would be beneficial even after the contest for creators in general. Like, creators always talk about, like, I don't know how to market my webtoons. I don't know how to get more eyes on my webtoons. Like, it would be so nice if webtoons would be like with YouTube. Like, there's tons of like YouTube content from YouTube about how to, build an audience, how to get more followers. And it comes from YouTube. Like, YouTube is not afraid to let its creators shine, let its creators, grow and get more based off of the data, the analytics, all of that they have. Like, I feel like Webtoon should not be afraid to like get more creators to be more successful on their platform. It only benefits them. Like, they could literally be the YouTube of Webtoons. Like, insanity. Okay. Miss Milan said, I'm super into 90s, early 2000s webtoon backgrounds, simple geometric shapes with warm saturated colors. Yeah, that sounds super nice. Minty Spaghettio said, I love painted backgrounds. I appreciate the effort into backgrounds. Oh my good grief, all of y'all are blessing me. Thank you so much. Yes, we're at the end of the live. Chainsaw Maniac said, well, doesn't it depend on the country for the taxing? Yes, it does, but I was basing it off of the US because this is a US contest, so they're going to file this with the US government, I would think. Like, I'm like, they've been advertising this as like US, so I'm just saying, in my opinion. I have no clue if there's like some sort of like legal mumbo jumbo, like if you live in a different country where you're not, like where you get some sort of exemption for that. But no, the government loves taxes. So if they see a large lump sum of money, they're going to be like, what the heck? What's going on? Like, if you pull $10,000 out of your own bank account, it flags the IRS. The IRS is like, what are you doing? Why are we need to know so we can tax that money. Like, it's insanity. I promise. Prince Boring said 40% means the 35K reward is only 14K. Yikes. Listen. I could be completely wrong, so I'm just saying, like, just be aware that it may not be as much money as you think it is. Like, if I'm wrong, at least that way your expectations are not higher than they need to be. And if I'm wrong, at least that way, like, you are planning to get more money. Like if Prince Boring is correct and, the 35K, you actually get 14K, which that doesn't seem right to me. Like, that's too much taken off, because 50% of 35 would not be 14. So 40% would definitely be higher than that. Like, are you sure you did that right, Prince Boring? Yeah, that would be more like 20K. Somewhere around there. Like, okay. We're getting way off of this. Minty Donuts Video said, wait, didn't they say in the rules they only accept specific countries, or was it only in the US? No. What I'm saying is, yes, they accept other countries, yes. But when they issue out the money, if it's coming out of like the US, like the US is going to tax that money. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they're going to be paying you from Korea. I think it's going to come out of the US branch. Like, that's why they were like, this is a US specific contest. Like, it's very much like in the US. I think there's like a whole craziness if they decide to do like foreign money from here to there. Like, that, they've gone public now in the US. Like, they cannot avoid these taxes. Prince Boy, I think it meant that like when you did it, I think it was telling you that it's going to take off 14K. Like, I think it meant like I think you probably typed in 40% of 35K and it said that it was 14K and it meant like take off 14. Like, it didn't mean it was going to be 14. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with Stealthy Mouse. They said you need to consult a tax agent who has knowledge of foreign policy. That's only if it comes foreign. So otherwise, there should be some sort of, you can ask Webtoons. Like if you become an original, be like, hey, what the heck is going on with this? Like, are y'all taking out taxes? And if they say no, then that should automatically be a red flag to you that you need to do something in your own country. And then if they say yes, be like, is this US based? And go from there. Yeah. Like, guys. I am not a tax consultant. I'm just saying that, like, for instance, I don't know if any of you guys watch like Survivor or Big Brother or any reality shows in the US, but they always talk about how like winners afterwards, how like, oh, I don't actually get $1,000,000. I get $600,000 or something in that ballpark because they're taxed so heavily. Because it's like for some reason it's in a higher tax bracket whenever you win like lotto or prize money sort of thing. So like the person who wins the lottery in the US doesn't get all of that lotto money. They get a lump sum of money that is after taxes. And sometimes depending on the situation with okay, I'm not going into the lottery explanation, but we get it. Okay, so let's get off of that topic. I feel like I'm talking too much about taxes. This is not a tax stream. Oh, I get green. Minty Donut Spaghettios said, so is there a chance you can sue Webtoons for more money somehow for research purposes, of course? I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, no, I don't think you could sue them for more money unless they did something illegal. Like, they would be complying with government standards. Like, they wouldn't be taking money from you. Like, Webtoons isn't like going to pay you. So what you'll see is it'll be like 35K and then there'll be taxes and then you'll get your money. Like Webtoons is going to be like, here's 14K and then keep the money. Like that's not how that's going to work. You're going to get legal documents about like how the payout's going to work. Yep. I'm actually about to jump off User Roast, but thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to wrap up here as well, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here, us getting a chance to chat and, ramble about crazy newsletters and tax stuff. Like you guys are killing me with all of this tax information. Like we're really getting into the weeds here. Oh, maybe I should bring on a tax accountant. I actually know a few that could probably talk about some of this. We'll see. Maybe I'll plan that for a future stream. We'll do like a business stream. Like, get your business stuff in order. Like, that would be fun, right? Am I the only one that feels like I would enjoy that? I'd be like, oh, yes. I love talking about taxes. Okay, so with that, I am going to say good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for the 10th newsletter. We'll see. I might do a stream very soon. I don't want to say when, but just be on the lookout for another stream quite soon. So thank you so much. I will catch you all in the next video. Bye bye.